welcome back to my channel. So today we have a review of two new releases from Versace. We have the new Versace Bright Crystal Le Parfum and Crystal Noir Le Parfum. So I'm going to be letting you know what they smell like and how they compare to the others in the range. If you are new here, then hello, welcome. I'm all about perfumes. I have hundreds of videos like this. I have videos on all the other Versace perfumes, so do check out my other content. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And I'll leave the links in the description box where you can get these around the world. I got these from essential.com, which is a website I've been shopping at for years. And throughout July, they also have an extra 10% off. You can just use the code extra10 at checkout and you can get a discount on your order. And they stock the whole Versace range and often have them at really good prices. So shout out to Essential. So the Versace crystal range has been out for a really long time, and the Versace Bright Crystal Eau de Toilette is a perfume I've been recommending for many years. It's a really clean, fresh, peony fragrance, really quite similar to the previous version of Misty or Blooming Bouquet before it got changed last year. Peony is a very fresh, modern floral scent, quite light, quite watery, and it's just a very clean feeling, and I really love it. The Versace Bright Crystal, I think it's a great everyday spring, summer perfume. If you do like something floral, but you want it to be very clean for hot weather, it definitely has that sort of blossom, spring blossom smell, kind of like a magnolia type scent. And you can usually get this at really good prices as well. This is the 30ml. And I do think the bottles are super cute with their big crystal lids. Bright Crystal then comes in an Absolute version, which I have here in a mini. And this is essentially that same clean peony with an added raspberry note. So it's a little bit of a fruity top note. It's not hugely different. It is a little bit stronger being an Absolute, but it's sort of 89% the same. It just then has that raspberry and it's slightly stronger. So overall, I probably prefer this just because it's a bit stronger and I love raspberry. And even though it's like an eau de parfum, it's not overwhelming or anything like that. But these are really great, affordable, really underrated everyday spring summer perfumes in my view. And they've been out for a long time, like over 10 years. And I definitely wasn't expecting Versace to release another flanker in that range. But here we have Bright Crystal Parfum. So this comes in this 50ml size, and the difference in the bottle is that it has this gold spray and this gold section on the lid. And I definitely didn't know what to expect from this, and I've been wearing it today. So when you first spray it, you definitely get that same signature fresh, clean peony. That DNA is absolutely there. So now after a few seconds, that same opening clean peony note has started to mix with an ambroxan note. So ambroxan is quite a creamy, skin-like tone, and it makes it feel quite warm, ambery and woody. And I have found wearing this over sort of half an hour to an hour, it became really very woody and creamy, not in a sweet way, but in a very cozy way. And those sort of signature peony notes were sort of much less noticeable. It does also describe it as having red fruits in. Personally, I don't really get any fruitiness from this. I get the peony and then I get lots of ambroxan. It's definitely much stronger than the other two. I found this really lasted on me for hours and hours. I could really smell it on myself. And definitely one for fans of ambroxan fragrances like Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume like the molecule fragrances. And I'd say something you could wear throughout the year. It doesn't feel particularly summery or spring like the other two Bright Crystals do. So it's definitely something quite different. It feels elegant, classy, feels relatively unisex to me as well. Ambroxan is definitely a unisex note. And it isn't what I expected at all. It really is quite different to the other two, and definitely much more elevated, and the amberiness is just really different scent, but you can really smell that it is a quality perfume, and it really did perform well on my skin. So we then come to Crystal Noir. So the original Crystal Noir comes in two versions, the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum. Now the Eau de Parfum is probably the one that's most famous, and this perfume really has quite a cult following. It has a coconut note in, but it's not a sweet coconut. It's quite a woody coconut and it has lots of fresh notes in like cardamom, pepper, really like sharp ginger opening. So it's like a slightly aromatic, spicy coconut. It's very, for me, very much nighttime. It smells quite elegant and elevated. And the difference with the eau de toilette is that it doesn't have coconut and instead it has orange blossom, so it's more floral and light, but it still has that same DNA of that cardamom and pepper in the opening, but it is lighter. But I know lovers of like deep coconut perfumes really love Crystal Noir Eau de Parfum. It's definitely a cult fragrance, so I'm sure lots of people will be super interested to try this new Parfum version. So this definitely has that DNA of the original Eau de Parfum. We've got that spicy, warm opening, and then it feels very woody and ambery and deep, very unisex. For me, this is definitely an echo of the original Eau de Parfum. Definitely autumn, winter, deep, quite sexy, and it isn't sweet. I think the Versace Crystal Noir really appeals to people that don't want something warm and don't want any like sweetness. It says it has a tuberose in, but I don't really smell tuberose. What I get is a very woody note. It uses something called Akigala wood, which is a creation of fragrance house Givaudan. It's like a copyrighted, I guess, scent, and it's used in Hugo Boss Le Parfum, the scent Le Parfum, which I really like. It's like very woody but still quite clean. I think this would be really nice for autumn, winter, and definitely if you like the original Crystal Noir, you'll definitely like this, and it feels good quality again. But I'd say what's interesting is the Bright Crystal Parfum is quite different to the original, whereas the Crystal Noir is like a more intense version of the original. There is another one in the range called Versace Yellow Diamond, but they haven't brought out a Parfum version of that. Maybe they will. The Yellow Diamond is a mimosa perfume, a yellow floral perfume. So it has a fresh sort of lemony opening, but then it gets very green, floral, like walking through ivy or nettles. Mimosa always reminds me of that kind of smell. And then the Absolute version is slightly different. It's a little bit fresher, more lemony. It uses orange blossom, which I love, but it does have a hint of oud in, like a woody undertone. But they're definitely for people that like quite floral green fragrances that are still very fresh. It has a very fresh opening, but it's definitely much more floral compared to the other two. So definitely really pleasantly surprised and impressed by these two releases from Versace. I think they're both really good quality perfumes and something quite unusual. They haven't been heavily advertised, so it probably isn't something that a lot of people will have. So if you're looking for something a bit different, if you like Ambroxan, I definitely recommend the Versace one. And if you're looking for something deep, woody, slightly spicy, the Crystal Noir one is definitely a good option as well. Definitely Soki approved, and I'll leave the links to Essential down below where you can get these and that 10% off code as well. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.